Hello everyone, it's Stu here from 3B, and here we have the latest update. It's finally landed in the UK of 1231.1. Now we're using footage supplied by Samsung that's designed, it's recorded, it's uncompressed, and in many ways it's designed to show off the best of their TVs. So by comparing the old firmware, which you'll see on the left of the screen, and then we split it down the middle and we've got the new one on the right, you should be able to see subtle differences, improvements in the picture. Things we look for. So the general things that we look for are improvements in backlighting, management of bright and dark areas that are very close together. So we're looking for sort of the halo effect, whether that's being managed better because of the LED backlight is being managed far better. We're looking for color management too. We're looking to see if certain colors perhaps are a little overblown, which may mean that we'll have to adjust the color settings a little bit more than we would normally. In terms of the settings that I'm using the exact same settings that I use for the prior firmware, which is the same that's applied to this one. So, we are comparing like for like. So yeah, we're looking for improvements in color, improvements in terms of fast moving images. If we're getting a lot of stutter, if we're seeing compression at all being used, which has been used before to improve the speed of the image that's being shown on the screen. But overall, the key things I think we tend to look at are improvements maybe in definition. So we're looking at hairs on the caterpillars and on the butterflies and on dogs and animals. That's why I've chosen lots of natural images. We've got a cityscape as well coming up. So looking for sort of fine detail and whether that's being pulled through correctly or whether it's actually being over processed and it looks a little bit weird. Sometimes it can. So what I'm seeing, it's very hard to say because this isn't a major update or step forward from the other one that we had. This is only like a couple of months later, if that, from the prior update that we've had. So it's important to understand that possibly there's not going to be a massive amount of difference. There's not going to be the leap that we had between certain other firmware updates, but there's usually small improvements which help. So right now we're just looking to see whether certain colors are blown. If you remember from the last update, we noticed that greens were a little blown, and I had to sort of tone down a lot of things, and in fact the backlighting had improved so much that obviously ramped it up, that I had to turn it down. So the backlighting seems fine. We're not seeing it sort of overly bright or anything. The greens are back where they should be, so we're not seeing a massive difference from those between the last update. The image looks natural. This I'm using, I can't remember the name of the app, the camera app that I'm using, but it's a professional app for taking video, and I'm using the extreme settings on the app, so it's captured in 4K at 24 frames per second, and I'm using a Samsung Note 9. So I've upgraded from the Samsung S8. So we're seeing these on the Note 9. So we should see a better improvement. But from having reviewed, maybe it's just a bit brighter, I don't know. It's really hard to say, to remember what it looks like, so I can't really comment until we see them exactly side by side. I'm just literally watching the screen, and now we're watching the example footage from Samsung. But it looks pretty good. That looks pretty good in my eyes. As ever, I will live with the settings that I use from the last update for a couple of weeks, a week or so, and I'll watch, stream content from Netflix and Prime and Now TV, and watch live over-the-air TV as well, and 4K video, 4K Blu-ray, and get a good feel of this update, and then I'll provide you guys with the settings that I've decided to use. But having looked at this so far, maybe turn the backlight down a little bit more. I'll provide those settings with you next week. Hope this video has been helpful. Let me know your thoughts. Don't forget to subscribe and click the bell to be alerted, and I will see you next week. But let me know your thoughts. What do you think has changed for you? Thanks again, and I'll catch you very soon.